Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here, and today we have Clonizer, a roguelike hex-based deck building card game. And it is a very interesting little game. Now, I don't normally play these types of games. It's actually my first ever deck builder, I think. But I recently got given it and I thought, let's give it a shot. And I've got to say, very surprised. It was tough, it was funny, and it's got a lot of dark humour in there, which I think a lot of you will definitely like. So let's jump into it. So the setting of Clonizer is quite an interesting one. You work for ClonePo, and you're in charge of like a small expeditionary force, your ship, and your clones. And your job is basically imagine cutesy Avatar. You are going to planets, wiping out the native population to extract resources. And yeah, it's quite dark. Like you think, oh, it's a cutesy, nice looking game. You think, oh, I'm massacring Xenos. I'm sure the Space Marines would be proud. But it was actually really fun. I did like the kind of style to it. At first, I was like, ah, it looks a bit like a kid game, but it's very good at masking the kind of dark humor and the comedy of the game, and the sounds fit it well. So the style really fits it. And as you jump into the game, you pick a galaxy. Like you pick a galaxy, which is kind of your strategic map. And there's the bit basic beginner galaxy, this harder galaxy, and then the toughest once you unlock it. And it's all procedurally generated, which I like, which obviously adds to replay. And in this galaxies, you have various planets which have different types of enemies, different type of environmental factors which can aid you or hinder you. You have satellites that can reveal the areas in front of you so you can plan ahead. You have asteroids where you can gain gold. You have crafting workshops where you can upgrade your deck, upgrade individual cards. And then you have these little information bubbles which are kind of random encounters, which can be everything from gaining stuff to giving oxygen to a random clone who's a advertising salesman and he might reward you. And then you might even get a call from medical saying you need to blow into a tube, should I say, and that your lungs aren't very good and you might get penalised. So there's a lot of like random events which I quite like. Some are good, some are bad, but it adds to the humour, it adds to the replayability, and that's the key with these kind of deck builders. And the game is not easy. I definitely discovered this. I thought, this is going to be simple. The first thing is the learning curve for the actual how the game works. There's energy, there's the actual deck, and you get a new hand of cards every turn. There's the synergy between different cards. There's different types of aliens, different planets. There's even different kind of call-ins where you might, for instance, calling a laser to strike an alien, and that alien might explode and kill everything around it. And some of these things you'll only learn by playing the game. So it's key that trial and error is very much part of the game. And I actually really enjoyed that because my first playthrough I got absolutely hammered. And then on my second one, I did okay. Third and fourth playthrough, I did far better as my deck improved, as my knowledge of my enemies improved, and my general understanding of the hex-based combat and how to make units work well together and also plan ahead. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people jump into these kind of small indie deck builders and think, there's not going to be much strategy to it. There's as much strategy in this as there is to a far more complicated strategy game because it exemplifies easy to learn, hard to master. And that is 100% something that I agree with this. And I really, really enjoyed that. Just like all deck builders as well, there's an element of randomization, which some strategy players, if you're used to things like Osfront, where you know what a Tiger Tank can do or an IS-2 can do, in this, sometimes you will just get given a bad hand. It's kind of like playing poker, and you just have to play what you've got. But actually, I thought that added to the funness of the game because sometimes I was in a really tricky situation. I thought, well, there's nothing I can do here. And by kind of doing really random stuff, it would lead me to being in a better position. I think, oh my god, that worked out. So there was that kind of fun element. But yeah, it's a very tough deck builder, and there's also an encyclopedia as well, like a glossary, so you can go in and read about different cards, different planets, different enemies, so you can learn and improve your knowledge, and that's going to be the key because a lot of it's just memory. You know what certain enemy types can do, you know what cards in your deck can be useful to you, but also when combined with other cards, and after time, time learning the game, you will become a lot better at playing those cards. But yeah, it's a fun little indie game, and I really enjoyed it actually. And I don't know what they're going to charge, but for me, if it's between £10 and £15, it's definitely worth it. That's like 3 pints, 3 or 4 pints of beer where I am. You're definitely going to get your hours worth. I think I've already put a few hours in, and I'm going to put some more. And obviously, it's not released yet, but how it's looking, it's a very complete game. Like I was saying from my last review, Empire of the Ants, great game, but a lot of the content was still to come. This feels like a very full package. This is an indie game. There's a lot in it. It seems like they've put everything in that you need, and anything else they add would just be gravy, which is really nice. It's nice to buy a game and get everything on release, which is rare these days. So I'll link the actual game in Steam under the description. So definitely put it on your wish list if you're interested in deck builders and sci-fi. And yeah, definitely check it out. But I've got to say, Clonizer, little diamond in the rough. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll definitely be playing some more. Anyway, hope you found this like mini review useful. Get over there, take a look, and see if it's something you want to buy. Thanks, guys, and you guys have a fantastic evening.